And golly, he where'd you go?
I had to shut the door. I didn't know he was going live.
Oh,
It just started up.
yeah, it did it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he had all these supplemental books. Like you went to the book, so back when you went to college and you actually had to have fucking books.
Yeah.
He had like 6 supplemental books that he had all wrote.
Oh wow. About what?
About fucking rocks.
Oh yeah.
But like he got into like carbon dating and shit like that, which back then was kind of new. It was kind of like a new science, you know what I mean? So it was all kind of interesting until you got, you know, who was in my class?
Mm-mm.
Keon.
We're live, dude. Are we live? We're live right now. Oh, okay. Yeah, Keon. Well, y'all worked together too, didn't you? Didn't you fire him? I think. Well, I just remember that story from drill school. It was kind of funny.
Yeah, sure did. Different dude though. Just full transparency.
Oh yeah, he's retired now from fire department too. So
he retired before I did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I'm just saying he served a full term on the fire department. He's not a bad guy.
No.
I like Keon. He's okay.
Yeah, no, I do too. Shit, I do too. Like I said, he's not, all right. What's going on, everybody? Hey, if you're just joining in, Josh and I were just talking about some books that we have read and talking about audiobooks and all that fun shit. Yeah, men read. Yeah, we can read. Well, actually, so you don't have to be able to read anymore. Like that's what Josh and I were just talking about. I do audiobooks now. So, I'm walking my dog or, if there's not a podcast I want to listen to, then I'll listen to audiobooks. What the hell was that? Was that you?
No, I think it was you, man.
What, dude? My phone's no, what me? My phone's never.
No, my phone didn't do that. I'm using a different computer. It may have been something on the computer. No, my phone's on silent.
It was weird.
Yeah. I don't know what's going to happen. This is not mine. So this is Della's. So I don't know.
Well, we didn't have any problems with it setting up like we did last time.
Yeah, no. Hers I had to come out and set up the primary for the Ethernet. But on mine, I had it like that. Yeah, Thunderbolt.
Best name ever for fucking, I don't know what it is.
Apple does it right, man.
Connection, I guess.
Yeah. They do it right when it comes to spending money. They put all kinds of dongles and accessories and you gotta buy.
You need to have a solid dongle.
It sucks, man. I mean, that's the bad side on them, but it's user friendly as hell. You got an iPhone, don't you? Don't you use iPhone?
I use iPhone, but I use PC.
Yeah.
I use Windows.
Yeah, I got MacBook Air, so
which I don't know why I did that. I built this computer that I'm using.
Yeah, I remember when you did that.
And I didn't know why I went PC instead of doing Mac software. I don't know why I did that.
Probably better, honestly. As far as, I don't know what you do on there, but probably just watch porn, but
Well, so if you're going to watch porn, you need to use iOS, right?
I don't know.
Hey, this thing right here gets all the porn. I'm trying to be safe, guys. This is the equivalent of a mask for COVID. Is your iPhone if you want to watch porn. What's up, guys? I see you guys in the chat. Yeah, so really quick, doing some housekeeping. I am way behind on the audio versions. I apologize. I got so frustrated with, was it the EDC show? No.
Mm-hmm.
A few shows ago, I was editing the audio, and it's not difficult. It's just tedious, and I'm still learning. And I just got Audacity was being a dick, basically. And I got so fucking frustrated. I said, fuck it. And I just haven't went back to it. So I apologize. I'm a few shows back behind on the audio version, but we did have some more 5-star reviews on iTunes, which we really appreciate. Thank you very much. And it's not so much for money or anything like that. And what it does is just gets this show out there. So Josh and I appreciate that. You know, when you leave these 5-star reviews, it helps iTunes and Anchor pump it up when people start to Google manliness, masculinity, all the hashtags that are associated with this show. So
can we talk about it? Like, we got something else this week that's pretty cool.
What's that?
The offer.
Oh yeah, we could talk about it. So they did hit me back.
I thought it was fake first. I was like, this can't be real. I was like, I expected that black dude sitting on the bed to pop up when I opened.
Oh my God, that would have been so good. That would have been awesome.
I was like, I don't know if I should open this or not, but I looked into it and it's legit.
Barry, Big Barry.
Yeah, it's legit.
Oh,
basically it's a sponsor that hit us up. Like, I don't even know how they found us. They probably just found us through the algorithm of
Actually, it was a chick actually that said, hey, I won't say her name on the air, but she works for this company. And she reached out and said, hey, message my okay. So, all right. Really, I'm going to deviate just for a second. No, you know what? No, I'm not, because I'm not answering that because it's fucking stupid.
I'm proud.
It's fucking stupid. Anyway, so back to the sponsor or potential sponsor. She works for them. Hit me up. Hey, I think you guys would be a good fit. DM them. I told them about your show. They're interested. So I DM'd them, sent them an email. I have like a blanket email that I send, and you know, they messaged me back. And so, guys, I've been down this rabbit hole before with sponsors, and you know, everybody wants to give you like a percentage, you know what I mean? In it, you know, I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? You like our content, you think we're a good fit, then we're gonna do something contractual. If not, you know, we're not gonna do it. So we're in talks right now, but it is cool. Yeah, I mean, we're 12 episodes in, and
it's pretty
you know. But it is, I can't tell you what it is. It is a male genitalia grooming system.
Hygiene / grooming system.
Yeah.
I don't know if they knew something, but they're like, hey guys, like, you want to be men, you have to feel wind on your ball.
Hey, they've got some science. They've got some science behind it too. Like 99.95% women appreciate the man being groomed.
I was reading that.
Shit, you know,
whatever. It's marketing.
Marketing. They do have a good, like, I got on their website and, you know, kind of checked them out because I thought it might be bullshit too. But it does look kind of funny because of the illustrations that they have on how you use some of the products.
What's that other big one? It's like Manscaping or some shit. The other one that they have out there that everybody has as a sponsor. It's not the big name one. This one's, you know what I'm talking about?
I'll go ahead and drop these guys if you all want to check them out. This is a fantastic name for a product like this. It's Smooth My Balls.
What a goofy name, man.
Smooth My Balls. I love it. It's fantastic. And it's like, it ain't like just for your shit. You're like the other region. You're like your pubis. Is that what you call it?
Taint which area?
Yeah, I think it's more for like your taint and your balls than it is like your pubis region.
Sure. Okay.
Ain't that what it's called?
I don't like sticking that stuff anywhere that I can't actually visualize and see.
I think they've got that covered too.
Has it got a little mirror on it, like a side mirror?
Dude, they got a bunch of funny illustrations that show you.
You can shave anything that's got hair on it, basically. The hair in the back of your neck if you got a neck beard.
Like Josh does.
Yeah, I do. It's only hair grows anymore.
I don't know how many times I made me want to vomit at the coffee table in the mornings when I would look over and see this right here, guys, on the back of somebody's neck. And he had hair. There was no hair there. It was just this here. It looked like a vagina.
I got kids now that take care of
on the back of his fucking neck.
Hobie, I told Hobie, I was like, hey, the other day, I was like, hey, Hobie, come here in the bathroom. He was like, what? I was like, hey, hit my neck and my back real quick. With
Oh my God.
he looked at me, he was like, am I in trouble? I was like, oh man, you ain't in trouble. Just help
Hey,
me.
you should have been like, I don't know. Will that work?
He does a good job. Yeah.
Does he? Good. I might come over.
Yeah.
Well, that'll be trouble. My back's bad, dude. I'm like a goddamn.
My back ain't bad. It's just it's that region like on my neck. It's crazy.
Oh, trust me, I know.
Doesn't grow anywhere else.
I know your neck, like
crazy.
all the hair follicles that should be on your back are right here.
It's like my hair is just like running away from my face. Just
like dude, it's like if you wore a hat like me, backwards, it would look like you had a mullet.
Like, all right, man, let's move on. You got some imperfections too.
All right. So topic of the day show, guys, is manly hobbies. And we thought we'd have some fun with this one. You know, and you know, some of the ones I have some and Josh too, has some historical significance. Like you know, and we'll get to all that. But so I want to show you guys the fucking most alpha hobby, because it was not the first time this dude did this. Like, he has done this before. Okay, for there to be like film, you know, there to be a film and stuff. So this is the first time I've ever tried this on the show. So we're gonna do it now. Okay. All right, you see this, right? Okay, can I make it full screen? I'm gonna make it full screen. Okay, make it full screen. And let's see here. All right, watch this shit. This is insanity. Okay, here we go. All right, there's a surfboard. Throwing the surfboard in the water. Throw my fishing pole in the water. What's this guy going to do? Now he jumps off the bridge. All right. Now he's fishing. Oh, he's just going to fish. That's cool. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. Oh, shit. What? Oh, he's not. He's not fishing the shark.
He's going to surf it.
This motherfucker is fishing for sharks. Look at this shit. Look at this shit.
He's catching a rod.
This shit. Dude, bad. That is it right there. Bad motherfucking ass.
Shit. Is that real? That's crazy.
Yeah, it's called surfing.
Oh, that's like a thing.
Shit. Oh my God. Can you hear that?
I hear something.
Shut up. Go away. There we go. Okay. It's called surfing.
So that's like a thing people do?
No, it's really not. Shannon made that term up. She was like, oh, it's surfing. Like,
that's what I'm going to call it now.
Surfing.
That's really good, actually.
Yeah, she's pretty good doing shit like that.
That's funny, yeah.
Yeah, man. So I don't know who surfs, but that's some manly shit. It won't be me.
The guy at the firehouse he showed me a video like that the other day. It was people swimming in like whale sperm. I was like, what are you talking? I was like, what? How the fuck do you even know it's whale sperm? And he showed me the video, and it was just like bubbles in the ocean. Like, if I seen it and like we were I'd be like, oh, look, kids, there's bubbles in the ocean. Let's go play. And it was just like this, you know, thick of just, I don't know, quarter mile of just sperm on the water. Girls all playing in it and shit. And yeah, look it up. It's on the internet.
So like a sperm whale has the largest penis of any mammal.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah, so he could probably bucket some nut.
Yeah, he need like the smoother balls XL.
Yeah, we need to partner.
Yeah, the guy was like, hey, if the world falls to shit, good news, like Aquaman will be born in 9 months. They had all these like, it was pretty funny.
It's pretty good. Damn.
No.
Gross. All right. So some of our manly hobbies. You want to go first?
No, I'll let you.
Surfing.
I'll let you go first.
Oh. Okay. All right. So let's see. Okay. One of the first ones I got is I am a bourbon. I'm a bourbon guy. Okay, now I don't just drink bourbon. I kind of collect bourbon. I have some pretty nice bourbon bottles of stuff that I haven't drank yet. But I don't just collect bourbon to sell it or anything like that. Like I consume bourbon. I'm usually consuming bourbon on the show, but I'm not tonight. Um so so what makes that, why is that a manly hobby, right? And so I mean, you can go back to Sinatra, Cary Grant, any cowboy movie, with Clint Eastwood or John Wayne. They walk into bars and they order whiskey, and it's a manly drink. It says something about someone. Like when I'm sitting at a bar and a guy comes up and he orders Basil Hayden or Booker's, or and then I'm not, no homo or anything, but it's like I'm sitting here thinking, now how's he going to drink it? Because I got a real pet peeve with people that buy really high end bourbons and then pour fucking ginger ale in it.
Yeah, makes sense.
Or a little bit of water's fine. I get that. I drink mine, on the rocks. Sometimes neat, depends on what bourbon I have. Some go a little better with a little water to cool it down. But I'm listening. Like if oh, just an ice cube, just splash water, and I'm like, oh, okay, this fucking guy may know what he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? So, and then there's an appreciation for that. And I've struck up many a conversation just on my bourbon order. I like Russell's Reserve 10-year. I think it's one of the best bourbons you can buy for the money, especially if you're out somewhere. It's got high-end taste without high-end price. And somebody will be like, hey, what did you just order? And I'll tell them, and then we'll strike up a conversation. So it's got a mystique. Bourbon has a mystique. It's so rich in history, especially here in Louisville, Kentucky, where we have Old Forester, Jim Beam. I mean, we are the bourbon capital of the fucking world. And there may be nothing hotter right now other than cigars, and we'll get to that too in a minute. So Snicker 33001 says, I wish I really had a taste for whiskey. It all tastes like gas to me. Okay. That's a great point. It is an acquired taste. And I don't know how old you are. I'm hoping you're old enough to drink, but can you remember the first beer you ever had? Can you remember the first shot of tequila you ever had? And you're like, what the fuck? You're like, this is disgusting, Dad. How do you drink this shit? It's an acquired taste. It really is. But I tell you, so one of the things that you need to do is you need to find a bourbon that you like. And there's a bunch out there. And maybe you do start with a splash of water. Maybe you do start with a little soda or a little ginger ale to sweeten it. And then start to develop a taste for bourbon. And then you can start going neat, straight, on the rocks, and start to get those. And I think you need to be a little bit older too to catch those, the cinnamon and the chocolate and the oak and the leather, just like cigars. Cigars the same way. It's an acquired taste. So I've tried Blanton's. From what I know is good whiskey. Blanton's is now whiskey and bourbon. There is a different process. There's a lot of similarity. Bourbon is aged. And I think that makes a lot of difference in the flavor. And once you know how bourbon is aged in these bourbon barrels, which this our emblem back here is a part of, is a bourbon barrel top, actually, where the oak is charred on the inside. It gives it that smoky flavor. And that's what a lot of whiskeys lack. Irish whiskeys too. And it's funny, proper number 12, which is the new Irish whiskey. They're doing that now to Irish whiskeys. They're charring the inside of the barrel, which
don't they buy like old bourbon barrels and use those too?
Oh yeah. Well, wine companies have been doing it for years.
Yeah.
They call them ports. And if I drink a wine, which I'm not a wine fan at all, but I have found that I like ports, which are done in either brandy barrels or bourbon barrels. So it's kind of the big thing. But I just like that. I don't know. It's something my dad has always drank it. And, you get a lot of that from your family too, your parents, watching them do those type of things and stuff. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I like bourbon, man. It's a big hobby of mine.
Yeah. Well, isn't there something like what makes Kentucky so unique? Isn't it like the water, the limestone or some shit like that? that makes it so unique to Kentucky?
It started that way, and Jim Beam was one of the first. Even the Jim Beam Distillery out in Bardstown, Kentucky, they have a limestone stream behind it, and they don't even use limestone anymore. It causes a lot of problems with like the piping and everything, you know. So they've kind of got away from it, and you'll get there'll be arguments with connoisseurs that say it loses something because it doesn't have limestone. Then there's other people say that's bullshit. I could give you two bourbons, one made with limestone, one not. You wouldn't tell a difference. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I probably wouldn't. I mean, I don't have that palate.
Palate,
like you said, to pick out like the hints of different things. But I mean, I wasn't a bourbon drinker really. I mean, now I can drink it, just straight up neat. What about like if somebody doesn't like the taste of it and just can't acquire the taste? What about like mixed drinks, like a old fashioned or something like that?
Old fashioned is my go-to cocktail. Yeah. Old fashions are great.
That would help somebody that don't want to drink it neat or on the rocks or a little bit of water.
Old fashions are great. And they came out of Prohibition when Prohibition was lifted and everybody wanted to drink bourbon now or whiskey. Well, they didn't have it. The supply was just, or the demand was just overwhelming for the supply that they had because it was illegal. It was illegal to do. So rye whiskey, which is typically made with an old fashioned, is easy to make. Or I'm sorry, not easy to make. It's faster to make. It doesn't age like traditional bourbons do, like a 6 or 7 year bourbon does. So what they'll do is they had all this rye whiskey. Now, if you're a whiskey drinker or a bourbon drinker and you've drank a rye, you know how harsh they can be.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm typically not a rye fan, but so what do you do with all this rye whiskey? When everybody wants whiskey, you put citrus and sugar in it, and thus the old fashioned was born. It's called back in the day the gangster drink because all the gangsters drank them. I keep a bottle of rye downstairs just for that in case someone wants one. I got an old fashioned kit that I'll break out on occasion, even for myself. If I feel like making myself one, because I still feel like I make them better than any I could buy.
Really, I only had a few.
Yeah.
A
lot of people make them wrong.
What's that?
A lot of people make them wrong.
Yeah, there's a couple people on YouTube I follow that supposedly make some like the original or whatever. But, I've never made one myself. I've ordered them, but yeah, it's cool like getting into that because nothing's worse than like going to a bar with somebody that just like can't order a drink. I mean, it's kind of frustrating. So like if you're the kind of guy that like gets into bourbon or just a guy that's not really into bourbon but can acquire a taste for a few different drinks or one drink that you can just go and order it at the bar just for a social occasion or whatever. It's useful. You don't look like an idiot.
Exactly. Yeah. Now I think that's what the main theme of these topics are. It's like all of these, most of mine are all like kind of social, like these hobbies can get you into other avenues of things, you know what I mean, where you can meet other men and you can have like-minded conversations, I guess I should say, because a guy that's going to shoot guns, smoke cigars, drink bourbon, you're all going to have a lot in common. Maybe you don't do any of those things, maybe you want to, and that's going back to Snicker's question. We'll talk about this when I get to cigars, but I've turned on so many people to cigars because they weren't smoking the right cigars. And some people think some things are cigars that aren't. And I'm like, no, that's not really a cigar. And oh my God, you were inhaling it. You don't inhale them, so just a little bit of education on it. And these guys have, they're cigar smokers for life now, I think, But what'd you have, Josh, on your list?
Yeah, probably the number one thing that I do nowadays, like, is reading, and either reading a paper book or like we was talking about before, even if you can't get into reading, with the availability of audiobooks and podcasts based on reading, there's so much information out there, you know what I mean, that you can get into, you can get into reading pretty easy. And hopefully at some point, get a feel for actually picking up a book. Like I was reading something like, I don't know, like 10 or 15% of people like like, or 10 to 15% of people are the only ones that like read a book a year. I mean, that's just, it's kind of crazy with literacy being the way it is. And, the history of books, how hard it used to be to get books, before like a printing press and all of that shit. I mean, it's so available, to you nowadays. And kind of like with the bourbon thing, it just makes you, it can make, depending on what you read, it can make you a more, well-rounded person, interesting person, where you can go into several different settings and have conversations on different topics, or whatever, and have a basis, of knowledge that's pretty diverse. If you're reading the right kind of books. I mean, well, like I hardly ever read any nonfiction books. Like I was telling you before, somebody told me that, I lacked empathy or whatever. So I was kind of looking up, and they said like reading nonfiction helps you with, building empathy and, just learning about different characters and stuff like that. So I started picking up that, which is pretty cool. I've probably been reading more fiction here in the last few months than anything. But yeah, I mean, reading a book, I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's a good escape. It's probably, it's just a really good habit to be in for anything, for learning or whatever. I mean, reading would be my number one thing that I would go to.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, reading is, it's essential, right? I mean, it's a fucking essential skill. It's like, it's a building block for a lot of stuff you're going to do. I mean, now granted, we are on the age of the internet, YouTube, audiobooks. Josh and I were having that discussion earlier. I can't read a book while I walk my dog. I can't read a book while I'm driving my car to the gym, but I can listen to an audiobook. And I'll go chapter to chapter. Sometimes I'll sit in the parking lot till the chapter finishes, and and then I'll start.
Yeah, and I find that like audiobooks are great for like fiction books or something like that. But you get into like the classics or like nonfiction books, and it's a little bit tougher because you're reading something like a classic, and you, with an audiobook, you can't like pause and reflect, because the book's going to keep playing.
You can pause it. There's a pause button.
I know, but while you're driving your car or whatever, it's just
I go like this: pause. Yeah, I'll have a Big Mac with a large fry and a milkshake. Thank you. Unpause.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah. So it's that easy then, huh?
That easy.
It's not near as handy as being able to look at a book and stop and kind of reflect and go back a paragraph, read that paragraph again, which I find myself doing with a paperback book that I don't do with an audiobook. I'll just,
there are definitely pros and cons.
Yeah,
for sure.
So they have their place, but yeah, reading, would be, I know we're trying to keep this to an hour. So
yeah. So my next one is going to be the easy one. I talked about it briefly. Cigars. I love cigars and bourbon. If you get the right mixture, it's like fucking peanut butter and jelly. Sometimes I'll just come home and smoke a cigar instead of having a drink. Gives me a nice head change. And there's so many different flavors now. I'm a big coffee guy. I love fucking coffee. There's a shit ton of fantastic coffee cigars. Chocolate, cinnamon, coffee. You don't have to have a fantastic palate to hit these notes. I mean, they're going to hit you right in the face. So there's a bunch of cigars: Fat Bottom Betty, Tabac, a lot of Drew Estates type cigars. If you walk into any humidor, Cox's, Liquor Barn, and there's a Drew Estates section or whatever, just about any one of those, I think a lot of people would be happy with. But just remember, you don't inhale a cigar. You will be greener than the fucking Incredible Hulk if you fucking inhale a cigar. And I can't tell you how many people I've talked to. They're like, oh my God, I smoked a cigar and I was so fucking sick. I'm like, did you inhale the motherfucker like a cigarette? Well, yeah, what were you supposed to? Like, oh my God, no. Like, you get the taste and the flavor and everything without having to inhale, which leads me to my next thing, which, I'm kind of a big anti-cancer guy. And I've had people say, wow, man, you smoke cigars. I mean, you're so worried about cancer. And yes, I do. Probably shouldn't, but I've been to 2 ENTs. I'll tell you this, because I have an issue with my vocal cords. That's the reason my voice sounds so awesome all the time. It's because I'm always having surgery on every couple of years. But they ask me if I'm a smoker, and I'll be like, I'll have a cigar once, twice a week. And both ENTs, doctors, by the way, go, oh, yeah, it's fine. Non-smoker, and I'm like, oh shit, okay, you know what I mean? So I'm not saying it's something you should do every day, but on the weekend, when I normally smoke, or like I said, when I need a head change,
just based on inhaling it makes the difference, I guess.
All the different now mouth cancer and stuff. I'm sure it's still at risk because it is a carcinogen that comes in. But the big difference between cigarettes and cigars is, and I'm sure a lot of people know this already, a cigar, a good cigar, not a Swisher Sweets, not some bullshit, like a legit premium cigar is almost 100% all natural. The wrapper, the filler, even the coffee ones, they actually marinate the tobacco leaf in coffee grounds and a solution. So like none of these are infused with any type of chemical or anything like that. So you're getting a natural, I don't want to say natural carcinogen because I know it's smoke. So yeah, there's toxins and carcinogens in smoke. We all know this.
Well, it's just the tobacco leaf, right?
It's just the
leaves
tobacco
wraps. You don't. It's not like a filler, like a cigarette.
Right, exactly.
So,
like there's not 1,000 different chemicals in there that want to fucking kill you. It's it's just, it is what it is. It's natural. So I think that's one of the reasons the risk is much lower. There's still risk. There's always going to be risk, guys, in whatever you do. I'm trying to get away from artificial sweeteners because there's a risk there. I mean, I know there is. So that's the reason I try to get away from them. So there's a risk in everything we do. You just kind of have to pick your poison.
Yeah. So what would a guy start out with as far as a cigar? Like, I'm not a smoker. I've smoked a few, but you still get nicotine, right? Like you still,
yeah,
still get I don't think I've ever finished one. Like,
okay.
You know
Some
what I mean?
Don't. So yeah. I've got cigars that put me on my ass, and I know that. And when I did the video there, so I did a cigar. If you're interested, you can go to the Facebook page, the Alpha Bro Show, and I do a video on proper lighting and cutting of a cigar because people fuck it up all the time. I watched a guy at the Derby a few years ago buy a $25 cigar, fucking cut it too high. He fucked the end of his wrapper up, and he was getting tobacco in his mouth. It was unwrapped. I mean, and I didn't even feel sorry for him. I'm like, man, you're a dumbass, And then I watched people light them, and they're lighting them right up on it. And it's just charring that tobacco, and they got to be getting an awful taste in their mouth. So
I wouldn't know. I mean, if you handed me a cigar and was like, hey, I wouldn't even have known. I mean, I've smoked them now, but the first time I remember, I was like, I didn't know you had to cut it.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I didn't know any of that shit. So you got to give somebody a little bit of grief or a little bit of grace. I mean, for
no.
Watch a video. Like your video.
I'm not. I didn't feel sorry for him because he bought a $25 cigar and he didn't know what the fuck he was doing.
He was wasting it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if you don't know what you're doing, man, just buy a fucking $5 cigar. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You can still look cool. And that's another thing. I think it looks fucking cool. All I can think about. So I think I've talked about this before. I was a big Wolverine fan. My dad used to read X-Men comics to me before I could even read. And Wolverine always had a cigar in his fucking mouth. He always drinking a beer. He's always fucking killing somebody. Probably not the best role model to have when you're fucking 5, but I liked Wolverine. Predator. When you see fucking Arnold sitting in the jacked as fuck, sitting there with the polo shirt on, he's smoking a cigar, and the CIA got you pushing too many pencils, Dylan, and you're like, yeah, motherfucker. Like, they just look cool. I think they look cool. And I've always thought they look cool.
Yeah. They look cool on some people.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Some people just look like total douchebags smoking.
Douchebags? Yeah. I'm probably one of those guys.
Oh, no. You're
probably like, man, that's a douchebag right there looking at cigar.
I mean, really, some people I've seen smoking cigars, I'm like, man, that dude looks like a douche. Like,
yeah. Well, they're popular. They're uber popular right now. Like, the stocks, which a lot of them are privately traded right now because I'm trying to buy stock in a few cigar companies. They're privately traded, but it's rose exponentially in the last 3 years, like almost 300% a year for the last 3 years. So it's a hot commodity. It's real popular. And plus, being paired with the bourbon market, it just makes sense.
Yeah. So like walking into a cigar shop, and I was reading something the other day, and it's like, the cigar guy will ask you like, well, hey, what are you going to be doing? Like what's the atmosphere that you're going to be smoking this in? Are you going to be at your house as a social event? Are you going to be drinking? Or you're not going to be? So it gets paired with things like that. So there's that noise again.
Yeah, maybe.
So yeah, so,
you're right. And I read an article just not too long ago. Like when I'm smoking something pretty harsh, like it's just a fucking strong, heavy cigar, I get away from people because some people don't like that smell. It's like a cigarette, right? Sure. I get away from people because I know this cigar is pungent. So I don't want to offend anybody. If I'm outdoors, or I'm at a concert or something, fuck you. That's just the way it's going to be. I still won't smoke right beside somebody if I can keep from it's what I'm saying. Yeah. But now these coffee ones that I'm telling you about, I cannot tell you how many times I've fired one up, and I've had chicks come over to me and be like, what is that? That smells wonderful. And I'm like, oh, this is a Fat Bottom Betty. You know what I mean? She's like, oh, well, how'd you know my name was Betty? And I'm like, well, I just kind of had a figure. No, they don't ever say that. But that Fat Bottom Betty is one of the a cigar that I would recommend to just about anybody that wants to get into smoking cigars. It's got a sweetened tip. The rest of the cigar is not sweetened, but the tip is sweetened, and it's got that coffee flavor that comes through, and it's just like milk and sugar and coffee, and it's amazing, and it smells wonderful. So you're not going to offend anybody by smoking it in a confined space or where people are around.
Yeah. So getting into it, you would need a cutter, and what else? Like,
yeah, you can get a cutter, man, for $3. It won't last you a long time if you're going to consistently be cutting. And I have a buddy, he's retired firefighter, that every time he wants to cut my cigar, I'm like, motherfucker, get away from me, because you've got this $3 cutter that you've had for 3 years. It can't cut butter, and you're going to try to cut, and he smashes his cigar when he's cutting. Yeah, but if you're just starting out, soft flame, or you can even get a torch. Torches are nice because of the wind. $5-6, you can get a cutter and a fucking torch if you're starting out. Like I think my lighter that I have now is I have a Zakar lifetime warranty. It's probably the lighter is probably $300. My cutter was probably $300. But I'll never have to sharpen my cutter. If I ever break it, drop it, whatever, in the next 10 years, I've already had to send my lighter back because I dropped it out of my locker at the firehouse and it hit the concrete and it wouldn't light. And it was replaced within a week and a half. So the warranty's legit. You pay more, but it'll be the one. I'll never need another one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
man, I need some of your hobbies. All yours are like vices. All mine are like utilitarian based shit.
Okay, so I got my vices out of the way. The next one's
okay. All right.
So go ahead, give me your next one.
Yeah, well, like for me, like being a homeowner and shit like that. I mean, just acquiring skills, like just understanding plumbing and electric and everything from that to your vehicles, and just being able to work on things yourself. Like I don't hardly hire anything out at the house. I mean, it doesn't mean I don't have to fix it 2 or 3 times, but I'm learning something in the process. And with YouTube and books out there, you can learn any of these skills. I mean, they're not difficult. So I just enjoy doing that. Everything from, in woodworking, just general house maintenance, stuff like that. Yeah, I kind of view it as a hobby. It's stuff that, you need to do.
Men need to be able to fix shit.
Yeah. You just become more useful,
right,
to yourself, to other people,
Save you some money too.
It saves quite a bit of money, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so that, and like with COVID and all that shit, started cutting my kids' hair.
Dude,
so, you see,
experiment in futility.
You're basing this off one view. Anyway, it's
poor child.
It was definitely a learning curve.
Call CPS. I was close to calling CPS on that child's head.
It looks good now. I got it down now. But anyway, so something like that, picking it up. Like I've gotten into like boxing lately. I just, at an old age, I just find it kind of cool to like explore the different styles, like Mike Tyson's style. And then plus like a speed bag, I got a speed bag and just kind of gotten pretty good at it. And it's just for like the stress relief of that, just working on the speed bag and getting that rhythm down. It's nice. So just acquiring skills, is something that I enjoy. Everything from, like I said, nunchucks to cutting hair, whatever. I mean, I enjoy that shit. So it's pretty easy to do, for the most part. You just got to spend a little bit of time. But
yeah,
you know,
find some time. And is there a YouTube channel or something that you find this shit at, or you just like how to hit a speed bag correctly, and then you like Google it?
yeah. I mean, I've definitely have Googled a few speed bag
Well, I mean, just
videos.
anything. I mean, that's what I do. Look, when my washer gave me this fucking code and it wouldn't drain, which that was what the code meant.
Mhm.
I Googled it, and 5 YouTube videos came up, told me how to clean out my drain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah.
So I was kind of like, oh shit. So I didn't know if there was some place that you went to specifically to find out how to fix your. You just like you gotta go all over the place.
Yeah, all over the place because
Yeah.
nobody's going to have everything. I mean, it's not like one guy that's just a polymath of everything and puts every video out on everything.
You should do that.
Oh yeah, should. But no, there are some pretty good, like Mike Boyd, I think, is a guy on YouTube. Like his whole thing on YouTube is how fast can he learn a skill, from riding like a unicycle to like shooting a slingshot to breaking glass with his voice, all these kind of, so he'll like time himself. It's just kind of cool watching the learning process of, acquiring a new skill. And it's also fun to do that yourself. So yeah, that YouTube channel is pretty inspiring for like getting out and learning shit. But yeah, that's one I go to quite a bit when he puts something out.
So one of mine is something that we've talked about before, and I'm not going to call it what you all call it, but I have changed my training. Everybody should be, a hobby of mine is weightlifting. Obviously, I've done it for 20 plus years, actually longer than that. But so what I've done now is I've kind of entered another phase of training. And actually right now I'm training for the Murph, which is a hero workout. It's from everything that I'm gathering, it's one of the hardest ones to do. I talked to a guy today, it's done it for 10 years straight on Memorial Day, and he says it never gets easier. And he trains all the time. So I'm behind the 8 ball on like getting ready for this, because apparently it started like a month ago. Like people like doing workouts to train for it. So I've kind of like modified the training that's left to kind of amped it up a little bit. But did my first one today. Fucking smoked me, which that's kind of what I wanted. You know what I mean? So, and if you told me to get on a treadmill and go for 30 minutes, I would rather be waterboarded. Like, fuck this, waterboard me. I'm not doing that. I fucking hate it. But like this kind of stuff, like I did today, it's fun. And it actually wasn't as bad today as I thought it was going to be. But I'm getting better, and I will get better at it. But it's new. It's new for me, that style of training. Now, I've always trained, and I think that's a hobby that all men should have. And Josh and I talked a lot about this in our strength and fitness show. You should develop a strength base to be able to do anything. If you want to CrossFit, you want to power lift, you want to be a bodybuilder, you want to be a figure competitor, it doesn't make any difference. If you start with a strength base first, you're gonna progress much faster and be more successful in that endeavor with a strength base first. So yeah, I'm doing that now. So my vices, I'm trying to balance my vices out.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Now Murph is that's Mike Murphy, right? From
Mike Murphy,
yeah, Marcus Luttrell, the
Lone Survivor.
Yeah, Lone
You ever
Survivor.
watched the movie Lone Survivor? If it wasn't for Sergeant Murphy, then none of them would have lived. I mean, he sacrificed his life to get to the top of that hillside to make that phone call, the sat phone, to get them exfilled out of there, or they would have all died, which they almost all died anyway.
Yeah.
But
Marcus
they
made
had
it
no shot without him. So this is a hero. It's called a hero WOD. I hate using that fucking term. I think
it's born out of CrossFit, right? So it's
born out of CrossFit. A lot of these hero WODs are born out of CrossFit.
If we're allowed to say that on here, but
yeah, I guess we will. We already
and it's remind me, I know it's pull-ups, mile run, something else is to it as well.
Air squats. Well, it's the weighted vest.
Yeah.
So like, like I've got a low vis body armor that can be worn. It's only 13 and a half pounds. I wore it today. Makes a huge difference. I already walk around at 245 anyway, so I had another fucking 13 pounds. Wasn't no picnic for me, especially running. And I haven't ran in years because I'm too heavy to run.
That's a mile run, right?
Huh?
It's a mile run, right?
It's a mile run. It's you start with a mile run, you end with a mile run.
Yeah, so it's a couple miles.
Yeah, and then 100 pull-ups, which again, I'm heavy. So pull-ups are, I do pull-ups every back workout, but doing 100 pull-ups, that's, I do a wad called Fat Angie Sandwich. It's a special forces wad that they do in buds. And there's 100 pull-ups in that wad as well. And I get to 70, 75, and it's like I can't even hold on to the bar. You know what I mean? And again, I'm heavy. So now that's done without a vest.
Yeah,
so I'm trying to figure it out. And everybody that I talk to, they want me to learn how to kip.
Mm-hmm.
And I've refused. I'm like, fuck you.
It hurt your time. Well, so what time are you shooting for?
Well, with the Murph,
right?
Really, I mean, you'll have a time, but the Murph is kind of like your
Do
first
it or not.
You
finish it or don't finish it. Yeah.
Yeah. And with the 100 pull-ups, I'm going to be just finishing it. I mean, the run, I think I can get at the end of the month, and it's Memorial Day, so I don't have a lot of time. And that's the reason I've kind of like the workout that you do today to get ready for it is supposed to be 3 rounds. I went 4 because I need to kind of amp my training up to kind of make up for lost time. I already start at a level of fitness anyway. I don't know where they gauge this thing at. Like,
who's formatting that? The training up to it. Who formats the training up to it? Is that CrossFit?
If you go to the murphchallenge.com.
Oh, okay.
And actually, that's what got me doing this. Chris Pratt was on Instagram. He was encouraging people to do it. He's been doing it for the last few years. He's doing this for the website. He's doing it with a group of special forces guys. So I was kind of like, man, that's pretty cool. So I went to the website, and the website, again, it started last month. But the training was supposed to start like if you wanted to get ready, it started last month. Gotcha. So it had day 1, day 2, day 3's rest, day 4, and like there's your workout. Mm-hmm. And it's supposed to prepare you for the Murph Challenge on the 31st of May.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So again, this is all new to me, like super, super fucking, I mean, Josh can tell you, super new to me. I've been very, very resistant to any of this type of shit because I didn't feel like I needed it. A, B, I thought it was just fucking stupid. I didn't want to be a part of this cult phenomenon that's hit the fucking world. But there's definitely advantages, and me getting older, need to be in just better cardiovascular shape. I hate cardio. So this fits that mold for me.
Yeah, cool. Yeah,
what you got?
I won't be doing that. Yeah, podcasting, man. I mean, that's brand new to me. So
that's a good one.
Especially this live shit. Just like being able to come up with ideas, based on the topic that we're doing here, masculinity or alpha, whatever it is we're doing. And trying to just think your way through it, and also talking live and trying to read the comments and all that. It's not easy.
Turn the comments off tonight?
No, I didn't. I let them go. I let them keep going. But they are distracting as hell. But yeah, I mean, podcasting is pretty new to me, so I haven't quite figured it out yet, if you can't tell. But
well, I mean, it's like I said, I've been doing it for a few years. This show's totally different than what I used to do.
Good way to organize your thoughts,
Not in your voice.
Sometimes I don't do a good job of that. But
I mean, it's weird. And live is different. Like if we were doing this recorded, you could go, oh fuck, man, can we go back and but we don't have a producer that can edit this shit and do that. Like I was listening to a Strump show, Cleared Hot, the other day, and he's starting a Black Rifle Coffee, that they're going to do the show live from. Like he's gonna have a Black Rifle coffee cafe, and they're gonna have a studio next to it. So he does the show live right beside the cafe.
That's cool.
And and he's having a producer come in, and the show will be ready like within a couple days because he's going to edit it while it's going on.
Oh,
and I'm like, wow, that's fucking nice.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
We just don't have that.
Yeah, we don't have that privilege.
So,
well, you're constantly trying to catch yourself, like, should I say that? Should I not say that? Is it,
And then when you're done, and we did this last episode,
shit ton of stuff you left out.
Fuck,
yeah,
I wanted to say this, and you make notes, and and then sometimes, dude, I've done it. Like I said, I've been doing this for a while, and I've still like miss shit.
Yeah.
You get mad at yourself, but again,
several guys have come up and be like, man, I want to start. I'd love to start a podcast.
Good luck.
It's like, do it, man. Fuck. I mean, that's pretty much, you called me and it was like, let's just do it.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Learn as you go.
It's a great format because you can say what you want to say.
Yeah.
Now there may be a cost to what you say.
Yeah.
I mean, free speech sometimes ain't free.
Yeah.
But if you have, and like Josh and I, we feel strongly about men being men, and we feel strongly about like that's important to society, and we feel strongly about this may have been under attack for the last few years. So let's do something to get people motivated, A, to better themselves, B, get a point across like, hey man, being a man's okay. Like it's expected of you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, podcasts are great. I tell everybody, like if you got something you want to say, here's a format. You know what I mean? There's a lot of free formats, which is really, really nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, podcasting's a good one, man. That's a good one. And it is, I mean, it takes, we plan our Wednesdays now around this show.
Yeah.
So definitely a hobby, right?
Yeah, we're not making any money at it, so it's definitely a hobby.
Goddamn sure. 5-star reviews, guys. 5-star reviews, please. So another one I've got that I'm an avid shooter. I shot this morning. I go to the range. I got buddies that have farms, and hey, you want to shoot this week, motherfucker? You don't have to ask me. You just tell me you're going to be at the farm, and I'm showing up. So I love shooting. I love when I'm starting to see improvement in an area, whether it's transition, whether it's draw, whether it's going multiple targets, and then I'm like, fuck yes, I'm so much fucking better than I was 2 weeks ago. And then I'll have a day like I had today where it's like, Jesus Christ, have you ever shot a fucking rifle before in your life? And then you're doing this, I don't want to say reassessment, but you're reassessing everything. You're reassessing your training. What's going on with me today? Is it my equipment? Is it this? Is it that? So, I love it, and I don't get to do it enough. So my dad's house burnt down, back in January, actually like just January 2nd. And it's a lot now. My dad's got a lot of land. And I'm like, hey, I've never asked my dad for anything. And I'm like, hey, how about you give me some land? He's like, what are you going to do with it? And I'm like, Bobby, he's a friend of ours, owns Bulldozing Company. I'm like, I'm going to have him come in and dig a bunch of it out and create a big berm. And I'm going to throw some fucking junk cars in there. I'm going to have an area for, thermite, and put up targets, and I'm a fucking shooting range. And he was like, I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. He goes, that sounds like fucking the worst decision I've ever made. I've made
no shit. Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I may not do all of that, but I would like to have a place to shoot. So we're still talking about it. I don't know, but I would love to have my own range. Not a range that, it's going to be a membership and have to have insurance for people and all that shit. Like me, you, whoever wanted to fucking come, like
that'd be awesome.
Be what? Oh my God, how awesome would that be?
Set everything up the way you want, run drills.
Exactly. And run drills and just, yes, man. Like, God,
you can't do on a normal range, I mean.
Oh my God.
There's
very few ranges anywhere where you can move and you can draw You know, and just if you're a gun owner, I'll just say this really fast. If you're a gun owner, you need to become proficient. Josh and I have talked about this many times. If you're a gun owner, you need to be proficient in that weapon. Safety is paramount, but you need to know how to operate it efficiently. All right. But again, if you're just going to the range, I don't know if you can get that proficient, to be honest.
No, that's a difference in like target shooting and
Yes,
combat shooting is way different. Yeah,
way different. And if you're going to be using that for to defend your life or to defend the life of your family, you're going to be combat shooting.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Moving and shooting, communicating,
shooting, coming out of different stances. You know, you may not be able to get in your proper stance and have a great grip on your weapon. You know what I mean? So you need to learn how to shoot. Like we shot. So we did a drill the other day where, and this was another reason I got into functional fitness, was because my cardiovascular was shit. We would run about, I don't know, 20 feet, go prone, shoot 5 times, get up, get behind cover, shoot bent down. Then we would get up, run, get behind cover, shoot straight up. And then we would run and finish it out. And like I said, by the time I got to that third target, I'm missing at least 3 times out of 5 rounds because I'm tired.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, so, but yeah, shooting, man. So if you want to start shooting, you become addicted to it easily. Yeah. What's your next one?
Well, we talked about 3 that we kind of do, and then two that we would like to get into. I mean, when I was younger, backpacking, camping, all that shit was part of life, and then became kind of recreational. And it's been years now since I've kind of gotten into that with kids and, just life responsibilities and all that shit. But we're taking a backpacking trip this weekend, actually, me and my son. So just, getting back into that, getting them out, I mean, just the process or just the capabilities of having everything on your back, and that you need to survive or, to live a few days backpacking is just kind of cool to me, because I mean, in regular life, we accumulate all this shit, all these things that I have, a whole garage full of tools and workout shit and a house full of utensils and everything else that I need, but knowing that I can reduce that down to what fits in a backpack that I can carry on my back and survive, and live comfortably. It's just kind of cool to me. And I think something that's important for the kids to see and know, plus it's fun getting out. It's healthy too,
Glover was talking about this on Strump's show, he's a survivalist guy, right? Mm-hmm. So like he was saying that, like, it's a great opportunity when you're going camping to practice your survival skills.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, yeah, you can have your striker and, your block to make your fire and all that, but try fucking flint. You know what I mean? Like try to do it without these tools of convenience in case you don't have these tools of convenience. Yeah. It's a great, I mean, and I'm not, I've never been outdoorsy. I just have not ever been. And I regret that. Like, I wish I was. It's just not in me. It's really not. I've had some bad camping experiences. But I do definitely see the need for that as a skill, a hobby, especially, man, with your kids. Is it just you and Hobie going, or?
Yeah, just me and Hobie. Yeah, me and Hobie are going to go. It was something for Christmas and stuff like that. For his birthday, he wanted kind of camping stuff and backpacking stuff. So he's been running around with a fixed blade, cutting himself all to pieces for the last few months. And well, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, it's just an opportunity to get him out and teach him some of those skills that you were just talking about, starting fires, setting up a tent, and just getting out in nature, knowing how to cross streams and, all that kind of shit, stuff that I grew up doing, in Alaska and hunting and, I mean, and I haven't done it in a while. So I think it'll feel good to get back out and make an effort to do that stuff, especially with the kids.
I think
I
there's
won't look like a total goofball out there doing that shit, by myself. I have a kid, and
right,
you know,
right, yeah. Who's this
you know,
weirdo with the
yeah,
neck beard over here?
yeah. I don't know. It'll be fun. It'll be fun getting into that again.
And I think there's something primal. You always hear this motto, or not a mantra really, but the saying of getting back to nature.
Yeah.
Like I do feel like there's something to that. Like, like just getting out west, which I haven't been out west a lot, but the places out west I've been, like there is something, like there's a connection there. It's hard to explain, and it's weird. I do think there is something with nature and man, and a synergy.
No,
I guess is what I'm
absolutely.
trying to say.
Yeah, you can feel just the energy of being out.
Energy
I lived in
for
Colorado for
sure,
a while, and in the mountains and stuff like that. It's a whole different atmosphere, than what we normally live in.
for sure.
Yeah, it's
So
good.
so my last one is kind of on those lines. It's art. Like, okay, so this is something that I do not practice at all, but I really want to get into, and I've been thinking about it a lot lately. I just really haven't pulled the trigger on it, so to speak. But archery, like I would really like to be proficient with a bow and arrow, mainly because if something does go bad, ammunition is fucking expensive as it is right now, hard to find. If the world ended tomorrow, you know unless you're one of these prepper guys, there's a lot of people are going to be out of rounds quickly. But a bow and arrow can be a fantastic equalizer. So, and it just looks like fun. It's something that I could do in my backyard. I have a pretty long backyard, pretty big backyard. I could set up a fucking target, 60 yards away, and just go at, not affect anybody, not affect my neighbors or anything, not have to worry about fucking killing the person that lives butts up behind me.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's something that I think that would be really, really cool. And Strump is I'm sorry, Evan Hefner from Black Rifle Coffee. He's a huge like archery guy now, and he just got into a few years ago. And he talks about it's almost like a Zen feeling as he's operating his bow. And apparently I've seen that other archers talk about that. I'll get on YouTube and, some people that he's recommended, and I'll listen to them. And it's like, sounds really cool, man. I don't know. It may
He's
be.
not like in a hunting aspect, right?
No, he's like just target shooting.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, he's just target shooting. No, I mean, I think he does bow hunt now that he's, gotten into it.
Yeah.
But and I think it was him and Joe actually, because I know Joe bow hunts. So I think him and Joe were actually talking about this Zen like experience, not other than like with their rifle when they have a bow. I feel like it's that primal connection. It's like man's hunting meat. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't get any more basic and survivalistic than that right there.
There's a lot of difference being in range to kill something with a bow versus a rifle.
Absolutely.
That's a little bit up close and personal. I mean, my uncles are big bow hunters. I remember them going out and hunting boar and having stories about shit, coming at them. And I've personally never done it. I actually bought a target right here, and the kids got some bows that we went out and shot in the backyard, and they like that, but never got into it personally.
Professional.
Who?
So one of our sergeants was a professional.
Oh yeah, you're right. Not a professional driver, but he was a professional. Yeah.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he had He had companies sending bows.
Yeah.
Like, here, just try this bow. I mean, maybe it's $1,000 bow, and they just send it to him.
Like
we used to shoot at Old Sixes, since we had that long bedroom.
Yeah.
We used to shoot for dishes. You got three shots, and the closest to the center, close to the bullseye, didn't wash dishes.
That would have been fair with him.
Me and Cliff used to beat him all the time.
No shit. That's crazy.
Oh, he'd be so fucking mad. Which he would handicap himself a little bit. He would be tinkering with a bow, and he'd be trying out new shit. And I'm sure if there was money on the line, we'd never beat him. But It was fun, you know. I just remember how much fun it was. So, and I think it's something that, you know, Shannon could do too. And we could just go out there and, you know, have a drinking game and be like, all right, bitch,
Oh
you
my
get 3
God.
shots or you're taking this
Drinking
shot.
game with
You know what
those,
I mean?
yeah. Better put a backstop behind that target.
Oh, trust me. Yeah. Oh, oh, trust me. There will be for
Your
sure.
neighbors will have shit in their roof and everything else.
In their eye, you
Yeah.
know. You put your eye out, kid.
Yeah.
You got one more?
No, welding. I mean, it's something I've been interested in since I was a kid. I mean, I've tinkered a little bit over the years, but
That's interesting.
no, yeah, I don't know. I think it's just a cool, useful skill, you know. Of course, it'd be hard to get into right now with the price of steel and everything else, but so it probably won't be anything I get into in the next few years. But
Right.
you know, hobby.
Do you have like a welder and shit? Do you have
Yeah,
the stuff?
small. Yeah, small. It's nothing. I would prefer to get something a little bigger. It's not a 240 or 220, but that and a plasma cutter and everything. So I'm pretty well set up. But
Damn.
yeah, I don't know. It's something I'd like to get into a little bit more serious in the future.
Huh,
Personally.
welding.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good one, actually.
I don't know. I think it's useful. Could be useful, I guess.
Did you by chance, because I Googled it a couple times. I'm like, man, these are fucking stupid. Did you
What's
by
that?
chance Google like manly hobbies?
Uh,
You should.
yeah. Okay. Why?
I don't know who writes this shit, man, but I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And I tell you, there is one that I almost put on my list and I should have. And we'll do you have one that you were going to put on your list that didn't?
I mean, that's some of the similar ones that I knew you were going to put on, you know.
One that I
like,
probably should have put because I've gotten into it so much in the last few years is cooking.
yeah, cooking was one I had. I thought you were going to put
I
cooking.
almost did. I'm
Yeah.
looking at my list and I'm like, can't believe I didn't put fucking cooking down.
Well, because me and you both. I mean, I love, you know, I love cooking. I mean,
I love it.
I don't like cooking at the firehouse as much as I do at home anymore.
I tell you, I don't know. I liked it at Sixes.
Yeah, well, we have a rotation that's kind of fucked up at the firehouse right now, so we're cooking with, you know.
Yeah.
But
like
yeah.
I liked cooking at Quint 10 because I had a captain that absolutely, and he was finicky. Now I don't want to say finicky, but he was a critic. Like him and his wife would go to restaurants and shit, and they were critics. And he come back and just bash in this restaurant that I'd been to and been like, God damn, I thought the food was fucking great. But he, like more times than not, he would always compliment me on whatever I made.
Yeah.
And I always thought about that when I was cooking. I'm like, is Art gonna like this? You know what I mean? Like, so
he was a critic.
Oh, big time.
No, that's funny. I don't see him as
text about a month and a half ago, and he was like, dude, I'm craving a Trav's knockout burger. That's what he called him, was knockout burger. And he said it was restaurant quality, one of the best burgers he'd ever had. And I used to make them with turkey. So, you know, turkey burgers are, I know a lot of people are like, fuck that turkey. I'm telling you, I could make a turkey burger that would make you think different. And Art would just be like, man, I'm craving a Trav's knockout burger right now, you know? And I'd be like, fuck it, man. I'll give you the right. Cause I always fuck with him, be like, can't tell you, dog. He'd be like, is that smoked paprika? I'd be like, it might be. No, I'd never tell him. I always meant to tell him, especially when he retired. I always told him I told him I would tell him. But yeah, cooking, man. Like I think every guy, and it's sexy too, man. Especially you single guys. Like if you're single and you can just put a few dishes together, you ain't got to be fucking Ed Lee. But like just be able to put on a meal without looking stupid.
Yeah.
And chicks are gonna fucking love you, dude.
Well, that's what I told my cousin or my nephew. He may be listening, but I was telling him, you know, he's getting to the age where, you know, starting to be interested in girls and girls interested. I was like, man, you need to learn how to cook. Like that's a big thing. I said, just start with spaghetti, you know, making your own sauce.
Yes.
You know, then throw some meatballs there, learn how to cook that meat. You know, you learn a lot of skills. You know, you can learn a lot of skills on cooking just from a few dishes. you know.
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
So
for sure.
that transfer into all other different
Yeah, for
cooking.
sure. Tim Ferriss's 4 Hour Chef is a
Yeah,
fantastic
that's
book
great
to
book.
get. If
Yeah,
you've
that's
never
great book.
cooked shit, these are easy recipes that, and then, you know, like I've taken some of his recipes from years ago and I've tweaked, and that's what you'll do. You know, you'll start tweaking things. And I see recipes all the time and go, looks bland to me. I'm gonna add
Yeah,
this, this, and this, and
yeah,
this, you know what I mean, and make it
yeah.
my own. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah, yeah. I
So
do that
yeah, if
too.
you're a single dude and you're listening, man, learn how to fucking cook, dude.
Yeah, and bake. I mean, bacon's a whole different, deal. But
Whole different deal.
yeah, I
See,
like
my
I like
wife,
baking. Huh?
Shannon's the baker
Yeah.
because this is the key to baking. And when you cook, it's needs more salt, needs more this, needs more that. You add it. Okay. When you're baking, it's a cup, it's 1/4, it's a teaspoon. It's baking is precise and it's precision for it to turn out correctly. Okay. My wife, she's anal about shit. So her baking is spot on. She's not that good of a cook because the recipe said a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So that's what she puts in it, and it's never enough.
Yeah,
And I'm like, did you taste it while you were cooking?
yeah.
Well, no, I'm like,
Salt,
fuck.
man. That's the great equalizer in food. It's crazy. Salt, like,
Oh, salt. Yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
the beautiful thing.
Beautiful thing. I love it. I love salt. You got anything else?
No, man, I'm good. We're right at about an hour, so
Yeah, man.
I got shit to do too.
Yeah, I gotta get up fucking super early. So
All right, this was kind of a thrown to episode, so
what do you mean?
we did okay. Well, I don't know. We just kind of threw it together. We just came up with it yesterday. What we were going to do.
You know,
yeah, it's stuff we do. So
stuff we do.
Yeah, interesting.
Stuff we
Cooking
do.
was one I definitely glad we talked about though, because it is
for sure. Yeah, me too.
We both do quite a bit of.
Yeah, for sure. Especially being on fire department. I mean, yeah, and if you're wanting to be a firefighter, I was way more nervous cooking for 11 guys than I was fighting my first fire. Way more nervous.
Steve Nichols.
Thank you, brother.
What's up, Steve? Seen him in a while. Yeah, so anyway.
Any closing thoughts?
No, man, just get out there and find something you like to do and do it.
There you go. Yeah. I like that one. I'll piggyback at.
All right.
Yeah, get out there and just do something new. Do something new. If you've always wanted to smoke a cigar, fucking Google it. Go to the Alpha Bro Show. I'll teach you how to light it and cut it, and that's all you need to know. And then you may not like it. Fucking disregard it. You wanna taste bourbon? Try bourbon. Try an old fashioned. You wanna start welding? Fucking Google that shit. Buy you a fucking welder. Start fucking welding. If there's something you want to do, guys, fucking do it, man. The time is now, because it won't be tomorrow, because you ain't gonna fucking do it. You're gonna find a reason to fucking put it off. And these are useful skills. I think everything we talked about today, from fucking reading, which how fucking basic is that?
Yeah.
But people don't read. People don't read enough. So in this part of this show is striving to be better, striving to be a better man, a better fucking human being. And if that means you acquire a new skill, you acquire the ability to put an alternator on your truck, or to clean out the drain of your washer from just watching a YouTube video, then you bettered yourself, man. You may not look at it as much, but we take these small increments, because like I said in the video I posted this week, the road to alpha is never ending. You don't get a diploma. You don't ever get to call yourself a fucking alpha male. You either do or you're not. People are either going to refer to you as one, or they're going to talk about you as one, or they're not.
Yeah.
Okay. So just remember that, and always strive to be better. Always strive to be alpha. Thanks a lot, guys. Please check out the social media sites, and we'll be back next Wednesday, Josh.
Man, you always do this to me. I think I work next Wednesday. Yeah. So it'll be Tuesday.
So Tuesday next week, guys. Check the social media sites for the upcoming topic. And if you have any questions, please let us know. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah.
Thanks for everybody in the chat. Everybody have a safe, and very, very, very fun weekend. See you guys. Peace.